Imagination can be a powerful tool, but in modern times, it often becomes a source of stress, leading to mental breakdowns and anxiety. Many people today are overwhelmed by overthinking, losing themselves in scenarios that may never happen, and as a result, their mental health suffers. The pressures can become unbearable, and the temptation to turn to harmful coping mechanisms like drinking or smoking only grows. But instead of those temporary fixes, I want to offer you something much more lasting, some life-changing wisdom from the great Stoic philosopher, Epictetus. His teachings provide practical strategies to prevent mental breakdowns and help you live a more peaceful, grounded life, if you're willing to follow them. Before we dive into his teachings, let's first explore who Epictetus was and what led him to write such profound works that continue to inspire people today. Feel free to take notes, and also don't hesitate to share your own ways of dealing with stress and anxiety in the comments. Struggle of Stoic Epictetus. Epictetus is a figure shrouded in mystery, with few concrete details known about his life, including his real name. The name Epictetus, which means acquired in Greek, is the name history has preserved. It is believed that he was born in Hierapolis, Phrygia, approximately 75 miles west of modern-day Ankara, Turkey, sometime between 50 and 60 AD. From a young age, Epictetus faced the harsh realities of life as a slave. Despite this challenging beginning, he somehow found the opportunity to attend the lectures of the Stoic philosopher Musonius Rufus. This education would become the cornerstone of his philosophical development. Later, Epictetus was taken to Rome, where he served as the slave of Epaphroditus, an affluent and powerful man in Nero's court. One of the most telling stories of Epictetus's life is a testament to both his philosophical disposition and the suffering he endured as a slave. It is said that during a particularly cruel moment, Epaphroditus began to torture him by twisting his leg. Epictetus, remaining composed, calmly remarked, "You will break my leg." When his leg indeed broke, he reportedly added in the same even tone, "Did I not tell you so?" Whether this account is true or a reflection of his Stoic resolve, it is known that Epictetus suffered from severe lameness later in life, likely a result of the abuses he endured during his enslavement. Eventually, Epictetus gained his freedom and chose to live a life of simplicity in Rome, dedicating himself to teaching philosophy. His teachings attracted many students, drawn to his profound understanding of Stoic principles and his ability to impart wisdom born from a life of hardship. However, his life took another turn when Emperor Domitian expelled all philosophers from Rome in 90 AD. Undeterred, Epictetus moved to Nicopolis in Epirus, located in the northwestern region of modern Greece along the Ionian Sea, where he continued his philosophical teachings. Although Emperor Hadrian, who ascended to the throne in 117 AD, treated Epictetus with favor, there is no evidence to suggest that he returned to Rome. Interestingly, Epictetus himself did not write down any of his philosophical teachings. What we know of his thoughts and ideas comes from the notes taken by one of his devoted students, Arrian. Arrian compiled these teachings into 8 books known as the Discourses of Epictetus. He also authored the Encheiridion, or Manual, a concise guide to Stoic living, capturing the core maxims of Epictetus's philosophy. Now, this is the kind of person we should pay attention to, someone who has endured terrible hardships and yet managed to keep his mind calm and focused. How did he achieve that level of mental resilience? That's exactly what we'll be discussing in this video. Life will never be easy. There will always be events and situations that don't go your way. Maybe you're not getting the salary you think you deserve, or perhaps you can't stand your new boss. You might even find yourself disliking your new roommate. It's frustrating, right? But here's where Stoicism steps in with a solution: acceptance. The Stoics teach that by accepting the things you can't control, you actually empower yourself. There's a good chance you might grow to like that boss or even bond with your roommate over time. Just by accepting these situations, you're becoming a bigger, wiser person. That's the path to peace of mind. So be a little flexible, adapt, accept, and watch how it transforms your mental state. Anxiety is, without a doubt, one of the biggest challenges facing today's generation, the dreaded big A. It creeps in over the smallest things and holds people back from pursuing the bigger goals in life. You might be thinking about starting a new business, chasing a dream, or making a bold move, but there's always that one thing stopping you: anxiety. Thoughts like, what if it fails? What if I don't get what I want? Spiral into a mental mess that only worsens your well-being. But here's what Epictetus tells us. Instead of letting anxiety take control, start addressing your problems with a calm mind. Rather than anxiously imagining worst-case scenarios, face the challenges head-on with reason and clarity. By shifting your focus from fear to practical solutions, you'll find the mental freedom you're seeking. Epictetus here advises us to regularly remind ourselves of death, exile, and other things that seem terrifying, especially death. By doing so, he suggests that we will gain a clearer perspective on life. When we keep the reality of these fears in mind, we begin to see them for what they truly are, not as insurmountable horrors, but as natural parts of existence. By contemplating death daily, we strip it of its power to control us. We become less likely to be consumed by petty desires or irrational fears because we understand that life is finite. This mindset helps us avoid becoming overly attached to things that don't truly matter, and it prevents us from yearning for anything excessively. In essence, Epictetus is teaching us that by facing our deepest fears, especially the fear of death, we free ourselves from their grip. We learn to live with a sense of inner peace, free from abject thoughts and unreasonable desires, appreciating life for what it is without being held back by fear. It's scorching outside, the sun blazing heat down on everything. Then you think, I'll just put some clouds in front of the sun, that'll fix it. Sounds ridiculous, right? No matter how much you think about it, that's something you simply can't control. Some things in life are beyond our reach, and the sun is one of them. So what's the solution? Don't push yourself to the point where you're straining your mental health by obsessing over things you can't change. Let them be. Instead, focus on what is in your control. Maybe you can't block the sun, but you can control your environment, like installing an AC in your apartment to cool things down. Stop wasting time worrying about the sun and put your energy into something that can actually improve your situation. The moment you believe you're hurt, that's when the pain truly sets in. It's not just the event or the words that cause the hurt. It's how you interpret them, how you internalize them. When you start to think, I'm hurt, you give power to that feeling, and it becomes real. It intensifies. Think about it. Our mind has a huge influence on how we experience things. If you tell yourself that something is hurting you, your mind and body respond to that belief. But if you shift your perspective, if you decide not to let it hurt you as much, you might find that the pain lessens. It's like saying, I'm not going to let this get to me, and suddenly it doesn't feel as bad. That's the golden rule for happy relationships, and one of the best ways to protect your mental health. There are two types of people you'll encounter. First, there are those who always find something negative in you, constantly pointing out your flaws. I've experienced this too, and the best thing you can do is ignore them. Don't waste too much time with these individuals. Your mental health is more important. Then, there's the second type, those who uplift you. They may offer criticism, but it's constructive, aimed at helping you grow and improve. These are the people you want to keep close. Don't let them go, because one day they might be the reason for your success. Surround yourself with those who push you forward, not drag you down. Distraction everywhere. It's in the cheap dopamine that the internet floods us with. Social media, shorts, reels, all spreading like wildfire every day. These platforms play with your emotions, showing more of people's curated, happy moments rather than their real lives. And what does your mind do? It compares. You start to feel unsuccessful, inadequate, and frustrated because you're measuring yourself against influencers' highlights, not their realities. This leads to the next phase, an emotional spiral. It's nothing but distraction. Constant exposure to this information overload, whether it's positive or negative, amplifies your emotions. The instant nature of digital communication triggers more impulsive, emotional reactions, and before you know it, you're trapped in a cycle of distraction and emotional turbulence. But the Stoics had a solution, and it's as relevant today as it was centuries ago. Keep your intentions pure. Don't harbor negative thoughts about others, and more importantly, don't direct them toward yourself either. Don't let your emotions drive your decisions. Stay calm. As Epictetus said, when you think emotionally, you lose control of the game. Wait for your mind to be at peace before making any decisions. And one more thing, keep going. Follow these principles and you'll find happiness, not in external distractions, but within yourself. This is the essence of Stoic philosophy. To remain detached, to use our rationality to navigate life's challenges, and to accept our fate with grace. The Stoic approach emphasizes the strength of the mind and the importance of focusing on what is within our control while leaving the rest to fate. I believe if everyone followed these Epictetus's advices, mental breakdowns would be much less common. Don't you agree?